Ben or Ben, Men and Blend, how to.
The how-tos from the Dunlap
For families with the
family.
Dunlap. I'm Jay Dunlap,
I'm Victoria Dunlap.
and we are the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
We had to come back and give you a part two. Last week, we got to the end. We couldn't get a poem in. It got emotional. We was drawn by the spirit, and we just kept it flowing. We just kept it flowing. It got on the topic, and we didn't get a chance to talk about the blending. We pretty much spoke on the bend, how to bend, and how to bend. You can elaborate a little more on that, babe, with what we the summed up last week.
Yeah, we talked a lot about, getting ourselves together for the kids. And not only for the kids, but for each other. We want love to thrive. We don't want, for us to raise our kids and then we're divided at the end of raising our children. So it's very important to, work together as a team, stay together as a united front. Because what happens is that division, it doesn't just happen with the children, it happens with your entire family. So we're going to start off by kind of talking about when you become one, putting people in positions. You can't go into marriage with everybody in their same place. That's almost impossible. When you get married and start to merge your family and merge your children, the friends you had to run to help you out. I think it would be wise. I always lose my voice when I get on here. I don't know what's up with it. But what taking the time to actually mend and learn to work through obstacles together. If you have something come up, for example, Zion, I need to take Zion to the doctor, babe. Making sure that your partner is equipped with the information that they need to represent you. Because I usually do the doctor. Usually we go together, but if I can't go, then I'm going. My husband is my first response. That's my first responder. When you're mending your family, you have to show the importance of each other throughout your marriage. That we're equally important with our children. So when it's time for one of us to stand in a position, it's not unfamiliar. It's not like, whoa, because we're making sure that we lean on each other. And the more that we lean on each other, that should put other people in places and position.
It was more, and that creates the more of the blending that
Hmm.
we wanted to discuss. That feels that bond that blending families need. When she's able to, when I'm able to go to the doctor with them, is one part because he gets to see, you know, pops is here for me, not just necessarily moms, because mom's always been there.
Hmm.
Most of the time, the mother is always the one that shows up, from schools to doctors to visits, um, appointments, you name it. So, and we've pretty much been extinct
Hmm.
from the process of the growing development with the children. So I'll definitely be trying to give that part and show, even to show the doctors and teachers, this is not a child that doesn't have parents. Watch how you deal with them, watch how you handle them. Because truthfully, children get treated differently sometimes by teachers, by doctors, by professionals when mom comes along and they see the mothers coming in. And sometimes, male doctors sometimes feel they can handle women differently, handle children differently. I'm not saying in our case, I'm just saying that's how it works a lot of times. It's like a woman takes their car to the shop. He may tell her, we had an example that my wife wanted the inside of a car clean. And this was a place of us learning. This was a place of us bending and mending. And I explained to her, I had to kind of teach her that I'm going to get a different price than you. So on this given day, she called, the guy said, bring it around. I think it was about 85, $90. I said, now watch this. I called, he get on the phone. He said, oh yeah, I'll do it 45 hours. That quickly, the price changed. Because, and it's not the fact that they're necessarily, it is the fact that they're necessarily trying to play on the fact that she's a woman. And most of the time, women not going to go into depth of finding out the cost. They just want it done. And that's fine. But as the man over my family, I had to teach and show because, like we said, we're coming from two different entities. So what she's used to is being the head and doing what she had to do to get the things she need done. Sometimes that slips our mind, just like men. Sometimes it slips our mind to go to our wife. And you say, well, why you didn't ask me? I could have took care of that. I'm so used to doing it. That's why with us, a lot of times she steps in before I can get it started. And now is more so of an understanding if she has to deal with the cars or dealing with men and getting stuff done, that's pretty much that unified front that we come in here together. And you're not about to play nobody. With
Mhm.
doctor's visits, it's different. That right there shows the differences because as a male, I'm not necessarily going to ask them questions that need to be asked. I'm not
Ah,
going to go into depth about certain things because a lot of things as men, we're afraid. We have that white coat syndrome when it comes down to doctors. We don't necessarily want to know. Women are different. Women want to
mhm,
know what's going on.
mhm,
Women are going to go and get checkups. They're going to go and check in and get their mammograms and all the different things that they need as a woman. But with me, my wife is going to be the first one that she's A, B, C, D, and E. And my husband's not feeling well, and don't give an attitude because once you do that, she's on attack mode. Babe, we ain't got to go back to him. If you don't care for his bedside manner, we can get you another doctor. Or she's asking questions, and I think male doctors sometimes, it's a lot of male ego to the fact of the difference with women because most men, sadly to say, that arrogance feel like, who are you asking? Who are you to question me? And with doctors, we have seen that a lot. My
mhm.
wife had a situation with a doctor, same scenario. He went so far left with just all types of stuff, but she quickly corrected him. He asked her, "Do you want to change doctors?" No, I want you to do your job. Her being that strong vessel makes it hard sometimes when you're strong. We said that before. When you got two strong-minded people and we're both protectors, we're both coverers. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that type of understanding, you got something on your hands
Mhm.
when it comes down to our children. They know coaches. I have to make it known. Don't try it. You know what I mean? Our young black men goes through enough. When
Mhm.
you got one that's quiet, utmost respectful, don't pick on him. Don't play with him because he do has a father. He do has a man that's coming for him.
Mhm.
So don't misunderstand when you just see him come because they just used to women
And
and they used to being able to handle our women the way they wanted to, and you're not.
I think that's one of the key factors that are missing. Even if you don't have a father, men should be able to be, say you're the uncle,
Present.
say you're the neighbor. When you
Hmm.
know what it
Step up.
feels like to be a man, step up
Hmm.
and give aid to the younger.
Hmm.
Don't feel like that because you can
To
learn
your
something from,
nieces.
to the nieces. You can learn something from these kids. I promise you, if you want to stay relevant and you want to see the spirit of God move in life, observe these children. Observe the way they move. They're not kids so bad. I disagree. I can't. I've been called the child's advocate, but in reality, I'm the advocate for everyone. that needs help.
And you also said when the kids are bad, what to do?
Uh,
Look at the parents.
yeah, yeah. It's like the apple not falling far from the tree, and so in reality, we have to love ourselves enough to not make bad choices. You know, if you make a bad choice, you don't have to stay stuck in that bad choice. You can make 10 bad decisions and
You
say, you know
change it.
what? It's never too late to say, I can't keep doing it the same. If you can't look at it in that manner, look at the last 5 years of your life. If it's not working, why continue to do it? You can make small, little minor things that add up and equate to something greater. I decided to read a book a month. I love to read, but I kind of slacked off on my reading. So I've read probably 6 books, 7 books already. And it has gave me a type of calmness, just being able to drift away mentally and read and go somewhere else that helps me provide more happiness, more joy. Because sometimes we talk so much. We outtalk our gifts, we outtalk our blessings. And when we're dealing with children and we're dealing with our spouses, we have to be able to go into a spiritual realm in order to meet the needs. And when you're meeting needs, sometimes it's hard to navigate when you have 4 children, a husband, a mother, you got a few aunts, a few cousins. You have to prioritize each individual and meet them at their needs. One thing I would suggest for mothers, learn your children's love language. Have all my children, I treat them the same, but I might not necessarily love them the same. It's this old Fort Low, love me how you want, treat me how you want to be treated. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, that's gonna keep you in the blue and the red. You can't love people the way you want to love them because you may miss the mark and stay disconnected from them. Love your spouse and your children the way they need to be loved. My baby boy, he ain't huggy, he ain't touchy. He loves deep conversations, good food, and he like to hang from time to time. The middle one, he gonna hug you, kiss your face to death, but when he ain't around you, you don't hear from him. Our daughter, self-sufficient, she's loving. The only time she really swoop in if she needs something, a good conversation, she off to the races. Our other son, he loves my deep conversations. He loves the attention that I give him, and understanding that I love them all, but I love them the way they need to be loved. My husband is more, on the emotional side. He don't need you to do a lot for him. He don't need you to cook, clean. So, which I do, but his love
It's not
language
a need.
it's not a need. His love language is, affirmation, foot rubs, hugs, not getting on his nerves. Talking
Ding,
his
ding,
head.
ding, 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 ding.
I be talking his head off, y'all. And sometimes, just learning to navigate what's important to you and taking the time. When you go to a job, they teach you how to do that job. So when you become a wife, you have to learn how to do your job.
Let's see, I think that's very important because that's something that everybody is gonna have to deal with.
Hmm.
I don't care how much you pray, how much you into God, how much you do what you have to do to stay in a relationship with God. You still have to learn how she operates, how
Hmm.
he operates.
Hmm.
And in the very beginning, it was a conversation that we had, and I was explaining to her, the way she does, like she'll clean differently from me. She'll
Hmm.
do it her way. I do it my way. I had to literally understand that as long as it gets done, there's no right or wrong way. And that's where the conflict a lot of times comes in. Because we're not willing to look at it and take the normal and the minor and just say, what difference does it make?
Hmm.
We're so caught up at looking, and we said that on the last one, on part one, we're so busy looking at the specifics of how something is done, but but you're missing out on the major.
Hmm.
You're majoring on the minor,
Minor on
and
the major, major on the minor.
yeah, so you lose the concept, or you lose that love language that genuinely that's what she's doing it for. I'm doing it to show you that I care for you. I'm doing it to show you that I
Hmm.
love you. She had to get to a place of being more patient and understanding with me because that was something that was different from me. I She'd get upset because I want to help,
Hmm.
and it was vice versa in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be in the kitchen cooking. She comes and want to put her little 2 cents in and put her do her little thing, and I'll be looking at her like
And now he do.
now
But he different
I've
though.
gotten to a place where I
You
let
wait till
her.
I leave and go in the kitchen, then my food tastes different when I come back.
It
He wait
tastes,
till I leave.
but you'll
He'll
say it
something
tastes
different.
better now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't mess it up.
No,
I
but
just add, but the key about that is, and what's funny about that is, we've learned how to incorporate that into having a pleasant moment from it,
mhm.
instead of it irritating us.
Nobody don't want to eat.
Now she does it in a way where she won't season certain things.
Mhm.
Even if she put it on and don't even say she hasn't seasoned it,
Mhm.
I already know because now we done got so much in the flow of things where she knows if she put on the greens, my baby gonna come in and hook them up.
Mhm.
If I put on this something in his crock pot and just leave it, it's like he can look in and see, okay, I know she didn't add this. I
Yeah.
know she's leaving it for me.
I'm not big on salt at all. So my food is not bland, but I think about health versus taste. And that's how that goes wrong sometimes. I don't, I rather, you know, leave room for
Add
a
salt
dick.
at the end.
Yeah, because I really don't want no high blood pressure and cholesterol issues. I want my husband and I to live a long, beautiful life
But it's
side by
just
side.
learning
It's just
the
learning. It's not easy, like, but it's worth it if you humble yourself and say. And that's what I was saying with putting people in position. When you put your partner in position, honestly, and I'm not trying to say this, y'all might can see who the rough around the edges person is. That would be me. You have to put people in position so you can utilize God's gift. You can't call your mama every time something wrong. You can't call your daddy every time something's wrong. It is so important to have a relationship with God because you can't mimic what your daddy did to your mama. You can't mimic what your mama did to your daddy because those are two imperfect people. Now you're taking those imperfections, making them good when they're not. Now you're causing more generational curses. So I would
take your
strongly,
time.
strongly, strongly suggest that you would seek God, pray, and ask for Him to show you what your marriage needs. Every marriage is not going to be perfect. Ours is not. But one thing we do is to strive to make our lives have a better quality.
And don't think it's just gonna hit you across your head. Don't
No,
think it's just gonna drop out the sky.
it
Some
takes
of the
work.
things that you're asking for guidance for is already in motion.
Hmm.
You know, that's why you have to be patient. That's why you gotta take, I think the prayer part keeps you patient,
Hmm.
keeps you calm, very paying attention to the fact that this process has to go on. Like she said, loving somebody the way they want to be loved
Hmm.
and not the way you want to give it. And
Hmm.
that's a process. That's a conversation that's been had in our relationship is, you can't do something for me your way
Hmm.
because your way is different from mine. If you
Hmm.
want to do something for me and for me to appreciate it better,
Hmm.
you have to do it the way that I want it done or the way I like it. But we also can't take it so far to get frustrated or make a problem out of it because they did something for you in a slightly different than
Hmm.
what you may want. I'm still trying to give
Hmm.
you what you want your way. I'm not just neglecting the fact that these are your feelings and this is what you like. The fact that I'm putting the effort towards it, and that's the thing, we have to see the effort in what we do and appreciate it. Because
Appreciate you.
nothing she can do is going to be identical to mine.
Mm-mm.
We have to learn that. Relationships, you have to figure that out and learn that.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to a place where you start to flow with it,
Mm-hmm.
let it go. It's okay.
Accept
She's
it.
trying, he's trying.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're trying, you can't go wrong. But when one person is just so stubborn and bullheaded and say, "Oh, if it ain't my way, I don't want it," and I've been that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've the way I cook certain things, I've been that person to say, I'll make something else. Only because, and that's what I tell her. You have to be honest. She'd come back and say, maybe the next day or something. Why did you do that? Why did you feel that way? I said I was just being petty. I was being immature. You have to be able to recognize them areas that you're slipping in, or your mind is somewhere else and you behave. And the best thing that a woman can appreciate from it is a man that's stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not taking nothing from you. Really, it builds you up. To
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge that you made an error, to acknowledge you behaved in a manner that was outside of yourself, can only reinforce that relationship. She's easier to deal with. You're easier to deal with
Mm-hmm.
because she knows, well, my baby, at least he gonna tell me he was bothered or he was upset. Or maybe I might just come out and tell her, this was on my mind. But
Mm-hmm.
when we hold it inside and she has to figure it out for herself, that makes a problem because she can't never know what's on my mind unless I open up and tell her. And that's the part of us blending our relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
our relationship is the first example of the blending of the family,
Mm-hmm.
from mama to kids to in-laws to siblings, even brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm. Mind
They
your
might have
business.
they might have their 2 cents,
Mind
they might
your
have their
business.
opinion. But as a man and a woman, I can't run to my brother for advice. I
Right.
tell I tell men, I told some guys, young guys in the barbershop, I said the best thing you can do is, I said, consult to God. Talk to yourself. Close your mind off. Stop thinking about what took place and think about what the solution is. Men are fixers, but how can you be a fixer if you're not seeking the answer to the question to create the solution? You can't fix nothing without a solution. If you're steady dwelling on the fact that she feel this way, you feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all in a tug of war, what is that
What is the
doing?
war? And that's the thing with marriages. Like I said previously, wise counsel. Don't call your yes person. Call someone that you know is seeking God, and they're not gonna necessarily tell you go pack up and leave. They're not gonna tell you that, but they will tell you to seek God. They will tell you to go into a fast and see how. Because sometimes we'll be dealing with so many different demonic spirits because of the things we watch, the people we hang around, the places we go. So
Just being outside,
it's like don't ever take your marriage for granted to think that, oh, I
talking
could
about
be
the
the,
woman we seen at Walmart.
oh yeah, that was real touching.
And that was something she said.
She
I
told me, she
appreciate
was
women.
like, your hair is beautiful, and I was like, oh, thank you. And my husband was a couple of feet away, and he was like, oh, that's my beautiful wife. And she stopped and she, waited for me to come here. And she told me, she said, if he's that good to you in public, I know he's good to you in private. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she started to cry. So I was just like, what's going on? And she was telling me that her husband passed and that she said, these tears are not tears of sadness.
Mhm.
She said, these tears of joy to see how y'all two are interacting with each other. She said, y'all blessed me today. She said,
Never take that
never
for
take
granted.
that for granted. She said, when your husband tell you how beautiful you are, she said, never take it for granted. She said, because when you lose one or the other is gone. She said, I'm telling you, I don't know how I'm able to make it. She said, I'm telling you, you never know what you have until it's gone. And so this at Walmart, and I'm just like, whoa, we had just got the phone with the couple. And I want to really emphasize on,
And she had me almost in
yeah,
tears.
my
I mean,
baby, he said he
because
don't cry, he just shed tears.
I seen the love that she had for her husband, and I seen the fact that she was missing that, and she's
Mhm.
seen it in us, and
Mhm.
that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to walk around with that resemblance of love.
Mhm.
When they see you, they're supposed to see and feel the love that you have. What else do you have?
Mhm.
We fight for everything else, but we forget the major thing of all, and that's loving one another, taking
Mhm.
care of one, appreciating one
Being
another.
gentle, being gentle will help you in a time because you don't want to wait till it's a problem to try to show gentleness because it comes across as fake. Be tenderhearted. Be, because in reality, if it's
You
not
get
gonna,
more bees with honey.
yeah, you get a lot of honey, you get little bees. I mean, serious. That's any of us. Like I said, you've never met a person that says, you know what, I want to be miserable. I don't want to be happy.
But you have met some people
But
that behave
they
like
behave like
they're
that, but they're not
happier
gonna come out and say,
being that way.
nobody wants to be unhappy, even though they don't know that they're the main reason from their unhappiness. Where I can do that.
I want us to stay on track. I'm trying to send her a signal. We got to get the moms and the fathers and parents
Yeah,
and the siblings. We got to talk about get them
being able
involved
to,
so we can end this part two and don't
yeah,
go on to
because
part three.
I mean, we got so much this because marriage is a big thing. It's not an overnight thing. Our conversations are not going to be overnight because people are really in trouble.
And what's crazy is I looked up the other day, 75% of marriages fail
Hmm.
because of the lack of effort with
Hmm.
blending the family.
Because when you
75.
that's a lot because now if you look at, oh, these my kids, no, these are kids because when he's paying his mortgage, he's paying it for all of us. He's not paying it just for him. When he's providing, you can't make a person provide on one end and then they shut out.
And that's something that she did when we moved in this house. She told our boys, "You think Pops need this big house? You think he need this size, these rooms? No." And we're gonna tell, and that's the key with a woman. You have to play, put that uh, put that understanding in position, because if they see the respect that you have for the man that you bringing to help in their lives, they don't have nothing else but to give and show that respect and love.
That's where the submissiveness come in. But you can't be a man that's handling your family like a manager. You have to be a leader. When you manage something, you don't build a relationship with it. You tell it what to do and you keep it pushing. That's what managers do. They don't come on the floor. They
And
don't
leaders
really
love their team.
leaders are willing to know I get paid for this position, but I love y'all so much. I'm gonna come out
I
here and
get
help
my
you do the
hands
work.
dirty.
I'm gonna get my
Yeah,
hands dirty. I'm gonna
I
show
got some
you
sweat in the game.
I'm gonna show you how to do it, not by telling you. That's what managers do. That's why it's a lot of managers that are not good. They only can tell the person how to do the job, but they've
But they
never
don't
done it.
know how to
They've
do
never done it. So
it.
now it's a conflict of interest. When you're a leader, that means I'm willing to meet you wherever you at to teach you. I have so much information in me that I can bend down to the lowest of the lowest in this household and bring you up to wherever you need to be. So as men and women, we must do the work, whether it's
Be the
reading,
example.
worshiping, putting yourself in a different atmosphere. Because if you always mad, something's wrong. It's something deep. Even when things are not going right, it's not humanly normal to be mad. I understand some people have certain mental illness and struggles, but in reality, God didn't create us to be all the time. Life is gonna bring you ups and downs.
And we're supposed to be the image.
Hmm.
We're supposed to be the image that they want to see. Like she said, you can see me on my boys. You can see them, see me in them. And
Hmm.
that's because I'm the example. I
Hmm.
have to be the first. That's why a lot of things that I've changed in my life has 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 overwhelmed me, because I know what I do it for. I don't
Hmm.
want to be that person that's a hypocrite. And kids today, they'll call you on it. This ain't
This ain't no do as
This
I
ain't
say,
back
don't
in
do
the
as
day.
nah.
It ain't watch your mouth who you talking to. Listen, you behaving like this. What are you
They're
who
not
are
gonna
you
let you. They're not gonna let you lead them into the blind. The blind lead the
mm-mm,
blind. Both
mm-mm,
fall in the ditch. They say
mm-mm,
we ain't following you, but
mm-mm.
that's the
They'll
sad
tell you
part.
straight up, you don't do what you supposed to do.
And that's the
You
sad
expect
part.
me to.
These kids are not being rebellious. They're looking at the life that you presented for yourself. I can't. I gotta go farther than this. What you're telling me is not working. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being rebellious, but I've seen how you live, and I don't want to live like that. You can't blame Zion is our go-to person. He always with us, so we always bring him up. And so one day he asked me, Mom, would you want me to be like you or better than you? And I was like, here we go, Zion, don't start now. We just ride. And he was like, no, seriously. I said, well, most parents would want you to be better than them. He said, well, I think that's what they call
The
it.
wrong way of
He
looking
said, I
at it.
think that's that scapegoat.
Hmm.
I said, what you mean? He said, I feel like that parents should become the best versions of themselves so their kids
To
can want to
mimic
be like
them,
them.
yeah.
He said, that's the easy way out.
Hmm.
We take shortcuts. And he always got some gems for me, even though he's the baby, but he made me think about it. You know, how as parents, we want our children, we push them so hard and we want them to do so good, but yet we standing over here at a stop sign, stagnated mentally, emotionally. They're mature than us. They have more wisdom than us because we stop learning. We stop seeking God. None of us got it. Like, oh, I know God. And no, don't get coming with God because he will break you down politely and show you what you don't know. He's a continuous everlasting. Like when you think you know God this week, he on something else. It's like you keep losing them so you can find them. When you start saying, "Oh, you got God mastered," watch out because
Okay, y'all, we're gonna go to the parents.
don't get me. You know when you start talking about God, I ain't gonna shut
That's
up.
how we got on the wrong track last time.
Let me start talking about. He talk about the
Kids
kids.
and God.
Talk about God.
But we got to touch on the parents and the siblings. Some people have brothers and sisters on the outside that's
Mm,
always in the mix of their business, their
mhm,
personal lives, their relationship. They have something to say. Sometimes they don't like the choices that you made, and you have to keep certain things outside of your marriage. When you're trying to have a successful marriage,
mhm,
too many voices, too many, how they say, too many captains on the ship. You're only supposed to have one captain. You're only supposed to have one head that's going to lead us, whether it's down the right way or wrong way. We only should have one because we have so many different voices. And that's for men too, because a lot of times our mothers as men coming from a single mother, they have so much to say. You know, they have so much input about your relationship, about the mate or the person that you choose. And sometimes, you know, they do have their points. Sometimes they do have their reasons why. But I can tell you this in our situation, when my mother realized that she couldn't play them type of games with my wife, or she couldn't try to flip it or see where her head was, she understood very quickly that her support was behind me. You know,
mhm,
her commitment was to me. She wasn't saying things to get along, just to get your approval, because
mhm,
she was secure in who she was as a woman. She was
mhm,
secure in what she knew she was willing to bring to the table in this relationship.
mhm,
And I know it's something that she's never given anybody. I
mhm,
know I am that one
mhm.
that she literally was
Ooh, and
willing to submit and give that part of herself to one person, and that was me. No matter what I've been through in my years of growing up and not having her in my life, no matter what she's been through without me growing up, having her children, me having my, no matter what we've been through, God saved us. He saved us in a different type of way.
mhm,
That's why when we got to understand, when we saying woke and being born again, and that it's a change. It is a
mhm,
change. It is a shift. You do supposed to grow. You do step into different chambers of your life.
Mhm.
And when you step into a different chamber, you can be renewed. Your
Mhm.
spirit can be changed. You know, your way of thinking can mature and grow in a way that it wasn't before.
Mhm.
Because maturity comes with age. It comes with growing
Well,
up. It's well, that's very
ah,
true.
that's another subject.
Yeah, that's very true. But
Thirst all
when you
over.
have parents that have a lot of say or want to have a lot of say. Like I think my mother was so connected or wanted that connection with me as I got older, more so as a controlling mechanism. So if she was able to have me to herself, she was able to control me. And it was almost as if I was her husband. You know, I'm gonna take care of her. I'm gonna give her what she wants. I'm gonna pay for this. I'm gonna take care of that. And my wife even had to explain to me, babe, that's not realistic. You know, she's
Mhm.
supposed to be preparing you for your wife, for
Mhm.
your family. She doesn't supposed to prepare you for herself. And when she seen that I wasn't gonna be that person that was gonna be submissive to her will, that's when problems occur. So it changed the dynamics when my wife came in and showed her. And I think that's ultimately what parents that's that type of way want to see. They want to see someone stand up to them. They want to know that, okay, I'm back up. You
Mhm.
know, she's really about that. You know, she's not gonna smile in my face and give me what I want. I know when she tells me something, she's not saying it ugly. She's never
Mhm.
been disrespectful. The utmost respect for my mother, but she had to let her know a lot in some areas. You're not gonna you're not gonna bring a wedge between me and him. You're not gonna say these things about him.
Mhm.
You're not gonna convince me that he's this
You
person
can't.
when I seen for myself what all he does for you,
Mhm.
and what all I've heard he has
But
done for
I've
you.
saw for myself, and I think women, you can't have those side conversations with your mother-in-law about your husband. We ain't never that cool. That we you were gonna sit here and bash my
Because
husband.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a flip. She gonna
She
flip.
gonna she gonna use it.
She using it
She
against
gonna
you.
lose respect for you, and
Hmm.
she gonna make sure that she causes conflict between the
She
two of
gonna make
you.
sure her son knows that your wife is over here talking about
Yeah,
you
she gonna
and
use it to her.
badmouth you.
She gonna use it to
Hmm.
her advantage,
Hmm. Because
and that's
ultimately she wants you for herself.
because of what goes back to what we were saying earlier is having
Boundaries.
boundaries, but making good choices. When you mother spent time, we have our oldest daughter, oldest son. I don't have time. I don't have to raise her. I've already raised her. So I'm not in her personal business. I'm not trying to figure out what's going on because I've equipped her with doing
The
right,
tools.
the tools to
Hmm.
be a woman.
Hmm.
She added
See,
some things along too. When I tell you my baby don't play, she's really that one. I don't have to worry about my grandkids. I don't worry about my son-in-law because anything moves, she on it. And so as parents, when you trust what's in them gonna come out of them. I always say that about all the kids. What's in them gonna come out of them. So make sure as parents that you're giving your children something so when they start to build their life, don't be that that dark cloud hovering over someone's marriage. Don't want them to be prematurely taking care of you when you're able to take care of yourself. Being married is already hard. So when you get of age, like I took care of my father and my mother-in-law till they passed, and my grandmother, it wasn't
we
we. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh my gosh,
and that's what we said when she
I'm
said, "I
not
show up for everything, Grandma."
I
Whew.
wasn't like, oh, I'm so sick. I don't want to do this because they didn't suffocate us.
Mm-mm.
They didn't. My mom come. I'm not. I'll be over there. Now that's our road dog. She gonna come in, but she's so busy trying to be independent. Cause for one, they call me D Block. Being with me is like being in the county. So if she come over, she gonna say her say. She off to the races to enjoy her life. And so that's one thing I can say
And I'm
about.
her baby.
Yeah, she.
You know, that's she.
Well,
Whatever
I'm gonna
I
get a
ask Mama to
T-shirt.
do for me,
Is wear J. That's my life. Wear Papa, wear J. I said I'm getting me a T-shirt. Wear J. But
my wife will
understand,
tell you. She said she. You want something cooked, you call and tell her. we
Y'all,
might want
Booster
some, we
Cat.
might want her to fry some chicken because she put her hurt on some fried
Yeah,
chicken.
we put her
And
on
she
the
be
map.
like, well, you call, she'll cook it for you. I said, she'll
Anytime.
cook it for you too.
No,
She
she
said,
won't.
no, but she'll cook it for
She'll
you
start
right
talking
now.
great. She'll start great. I don't cook no more. All this.
She'll cook
But
it for
that's
you
the blending of the
immediately.
family.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, that's her son. When we go places, they're like, she was like, that's my daughter, that's my son. And we might be holding hands and the people looking like, okay, what kind of situation
But
is
then she
this?
got to correct it and say, no,
This
but that's
and
my
sometimes
daughter
she
and that's
don't.
her. Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes
she
she leave
don't.
it.
Sometimes she just let people think what they want to think. And that's one thing I love about her. Even though it drives me crazy sometimes, she'll let you think what you want to think, no matter how crazy it is. You know, not into correcting people, but that's an example of blending families where love your
And she's
spouses.
not, and I can honestly say, she is not bringing no kind of conflict in
Mm-mm,
between
she really don't.
our. She's too busy on her own. This
She ain't got
all she
time.
want to know is y'all that
What y'all
trying to get
cooking?
something to eat, y'all cooking, y'all taking care of me.
That's all I care
Long
about.
as she knows she good, she don't, she ain't,
She
she
come with
ain't,
that's
she
our
ain't in the
oldest
middle
child.
of our stuff.
That's our oldest
And
child.
she really can know that we might be done rubbed each other the wrong way. And I swear to you, Mama is not gonna say what happened.
She don't
She
care.
don't want to be. Hey,
But
she
that's
good. She do not
because
want to be in the middle of nobody
even the
mess.
kids, you know, if they feel like something, they won't say anything because they get the best of both worlds. I don't have nothing to do with y'all two. If we can have a disagreement, Zion can walk in the door. We talking as soon as he walk past because it's not
But
being
he knows
fake.
more than
He
anybody.
knows,
He
but
can detect
he don't even
tension.
care. Like I'm gonna be
And he
taken
gonna
care
say
of.
something slick though. He gonna be like, really, y'all.
Yeah, like what's up?
When I go in the room, he gonna tell something to my wife like, really, come on, Bob, y'all.
What
I
y'all mad
know
about?
what's wrong about
Yeah, like, and that's the
what you
thing
do. That's what they be
of
looking at.
blending. It's
They be
no,
looking
yeah,
at her like, what you do.
it's no side. That's the blending of it.
They be doing
But
on
that's the
for
thing. I would not like not throwing each other under the bus.
yeah,
They don't know who
yeah,
did what.
yeah.
You can't say, "Oh,
But
she,"
they always blame her.
even
They
though it
always
don't beat
blame
me all the
her.
time.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
don't.
They be like, what you do to Pop?
It's understanding. That's what blended look like. It's not, "Oh, he did this," or having a picking a side because you'll be
Ain't no
surprised.
sides.
You'll
That's
be.
one thing the kids realize. Ain't no sides.
Mm-mm.
Me and her are on sides. When we play basketball with them and we done beat them up,
We beat everybody.
elbows, we punch you in the head. You're not gonna win between us because first of all, y'all got us by youth. So
Exactly.
playing fairly is
We following
out
the
of the
whole
deal the
time.
whole
I'm following
time.
everybody.
So one day, the oldest son, Jermaine, my little Jay, he gonna say, "Ma, you ain't on my side." She talking about on your side. She said, "I ain't on your side." He said, "I'm on his side. It's me and him. Y'all better get it in line." And that's the thing of having kids to know that this is the head. You know, we are the Voltron. We are the head.
Hmm.
So everything else that trickles down, it trickles down to y'all.
Hmm.
And when I say my son texted me the other day, just accolades of Dad, you are that dude. You taught me. You've made me strong. And I wanted him to be able to survive and make it through anything that comes his way. And when I say he does, no matter how he has to do it,
Hmm.
he's gonna survive. And that's I had to tell him, I'm proud of you. I don't care if we get so caught up on the job or the career or A, B, C, D, and E. But the fact that you're alive in a time where young men are dying and by their own hands, by other hands, and you still stand, you're still standing and you're still talking about God and you're still talking about positive things and getting to a better place and working hard. I can't do nothing but be proud of that because it's not on my time schedule.
Hmm.
Everything is not on your schedule. You got to allow God to correct your child. Once you do your job, people, I'm not. It's not up to me.
You can't rewrite
I
them.
can't. I gave everything I had. Whether it was right or wrong, I never left your side. I'm still by your side. So I don't have nothing to feel bad about. Long as you're doing, long as you staying alive for me, I'm good because God is working. Long as He working. He worked on me.
Mhm.
Trust me.
I think that is the imperfection that we have to show our children because they know it's something about us. They
Hmm.
don't know, they haven't seen. Because one day Zion tried it. He was like, I think I seen the night early, what,
But
1999, early 2000s mama.
yeah,
And so you have to let them understand that no, I don't know it all. Yes, I made mistakes, but the mistakes I made was to equip you not to have to go through them. And even when your kids do go through things, don't tell, like, please, 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 do not tell kids what they're not. They already know what they're not. You don't need nobody to tell you what you can't do.
and that's something from my generation that we never got told what you couldn't do. These kids today say I can't do something, and you will
Don't
get in trouble by telling your parents something you can't do. You can
you
do
you need to,
anything.
motivate your children.
You
If
can
they're
do
slacking in the
anything.
area, they don't need, oh, you this, you that. I don't need a nagger. I'm already having confidence issues. I'm already being bullied at school. The last thing I need to do is come home to a monster. You need to be that voice of reasoning. You need to be the one that your child will listen to. But they don't want to listen to you bashing them. They want to hear things that can inspire them to be better.
And they
Have
need
them.
to see that example.
Hmm.
You can't tell your child about a woman saying something to them when you're that type of woman. So
Hmm.
she has to show them the woman of God that I'm speaking to you in. I can't speak to you in a way where you'll see
Hmm.
something because then you're easily pulled into any and everything.
Hmm.
You're looking at something that doesn't resemble what I've taught you.
Hmm.
And every one of them, I'm telling you, Zion, Shank, they both with their quality of a woman, and Zion is the baby, so we ain't even paying
We ain't
attention to
counting
him.
her yet.
But to say even his little friend that he has,
She's sweet.
she resembles his mother. The,
Hmm.
we already have been able to see the qualities that he's going to be attracted to because of what she's given him.
Hmm.
You're not going to be able to play with him. You're not going to be able to handle him.
Hmm.
You're going to have to show he's going to represent something that you're going to have to see. I'm respecting myself.
Hmm.
So that in that case, I don't have to tell you to respect me. You should automatically
Because
understand
the
that I
way.
deserve that respect because I respect myself. And I think that's what she meant by when he sees something in me. I could be praying and my wife would say, I walked in his room and he was praying and he was on his knees worshiping or he was meditating. These are
Uh-huh.
things that I don't say do.
Uh-uh.
I do it in front of him. I'm not going to hide my worship because I need him to see a man
Hmm.
submitting to something higher and stronger than me.
Hmm.
We didn't come here on our own strength.
Hmm.
So to understand, I don't have to call out no names. I don't have to submit to no religion. But you seeing me worship and pray to the Creator of the universe of the world, that's powerful. That's what a kid, that's what he wants to see. A man can't handle it. Because you know why? Pops doesn't handle me. Pops respects me. So when he gets in the situation with coaches and basketball and sports,
Teachers.
I have to really explain to him, but he's he's gonna be straight up now. You cross that line and show him something less than a man, hey, it's going to be hard to pull him back in.
Hmm.
He's not that one that's just going to go along to get along.
Hmm.
You have to show him, you want respect from him, you're going to have to show him that you're respectful worthy.
And not only just respectful with your words, but he's watching like a,
Yeah, he's watching everything.
and that's what men have to realize. Unfortunately, a lot of men have made their fathers their God, and that's I.
No,
I'm talking about the way they treat women and treat their children. A lot of men,
they made themselves.
but they got it from their fathers.
Yeah, yeah, but
Some
some
that's what I'm
haven't.
saying, and some
The ones
haven't.
that haven't had fathers,
But some that the ones
but
that
the
do father.
society
You
shows
know
it.
how people say, well, my parents been together 40 years, but your daddy's been mean and ugly to your
And
mama
a
for 40 years.
womanizer for 40
For
years.
40 years. So now that the fact that you can do it, it's okay. No, you have to make God the all. In the women, you have to make God your all in all to get a positive outcome because He's that parent. He'll show you what that is not good of you, but He's not gonna demeanor you. He's not gonna be, God will do it in such a way that you're like, it. You know when some people say, "Oh, I talk to God," and they got a lot to say, baby, that's untrue. When you talk to God, your mouth so shut, you almost want to get up under the covers because He will reveal something to you that nobody has even witnessed. It's like a mere thought in your mind. He can bring it to your attention and let you know that I'm even in your thoughts. When you thinking off, I'm in those thoughts. And so I always go to God because sometimes the people that we admire, they give us room to continue to make errors.
And as husband and wife, don't allow nobody to disrupt your home.
Privacy, privacy.
Wife, I mean, mother-in-laws, son-in-law, brothers,
Brothers,
sisters,
friends.
father-in-laws. Don't allow nobody to
Because they're
disrupt
going to be at somebody
because
else's house.
because your home is your castle. That's your peace. We call our home God's house. So don't come in here with your mess. My
Mm-mm.
wife will tell you, don't. She done said it. Don't.
Babe,
She
when you
done
remember one
had.
day, shoot, he was like, such and such coming to our house. I said, come in the whole house. He was like, he coming. I said,
Mm-mm.
he not bringing them demonic spirits
Yeah,
here. He
don't
told
come
my
up
son,
in here
so babe, he can't
with your
come.
mess.
He was like, we can't have company today. Just
And that's
because.
respect, and that's me respecting my wife.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't have no pride. I don't have no. I do,
Yeah.
but it's in a different manner.
Not like, not
It's
listening.
business in a business form. But with ego and not being able to, this is her home. This is the place that
And we work
she makes
hard to keep it
comfortable
peaceful.
for her family. So to allow something to come in, and that's why we say we don't care if it's mother, brother, whatever you are, with your craziness, don't
Mm-mm.
handle my wife no type of way. Don't handle my husband no type of way.
Mm-mm.
Because it's about us. I got to make sure he's here for the long run. I got to
Mm-hmm.
make sure she's here for the long run. I can't allow my mother to stress her out so much where she's just ready to just throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be so aggressive and uncompassionate towards her that she doesn't even get or feel love or
Mm-hmm.
feel covered or feel taken care of. Because I'm telling you, time is getting short. God is tired of the women being mistreated and handled in such a way that is uncherished. I don't even know if that's a word, but I think it
You got it.
is.
They got dancery.
But it comes a time for us to be more protective of a woman, to be more covering of a woman. No matter what you've been through, you have to see what the other person's been through.
Mm-hmm.
We both been through something, but mine ain't no better than yours. Yours,
Mm-mm.
you gotta both have compassion for each other to say, he's hurting, she's hurting. We told a couple, we have our first couple we've been working with, and we told them, both of y'all are damaged. We
Mm-hmm.
all are damaged.
We all, but that's the key. Because we be looking at the other as, oh, they damaged. Or,
Mm-mm,
baby,
mm-mm,
you is
mm-mm. You
too.
too,
If you
you
don't think you
too,
damaged, you haven't done the work yet.
you too.
We all have, even with the perfect, whatever, perfect,
You
perfect.
really something wrong
We
if you
we
don't think
have,
you got
we
problems.
all have some pieces in our lives. But the key to it is that your God-given spouse will have the keys to unlock some of that brokenness that you can't find.
Hmm.
You might can't
Hmm.
find it, but God will
And you
give
may
them.
not like it all the
Oh,
time,
it might
but
be painful, like
hmm
splinters, but God will give them That's how you know who God has for you because they can unlock doors that nobody's ever been able to even know there was a door.
and it's going to be painful.
Hmm.
Nothing that's for you to accomplish is easy.
Mm-mm.
And marriage is definitely not easy. We're here to say it, and
It gets better.
society has shown it. But it seems like we tend to run into people that gives us inspiration.
Hmm.
It's almost, I mean, they don't even know us.
Mm-mm.
It's like they can feel our spirit, they can feel our love. And I know some days we could be on two separate pages, but they see something.
Hmm.
They see the energy because we're so grounded in our spirituality that it's going to overflow, even when we're suffering and dealing with something, or feeling chaotic that day or having a mood swing. It's going to overpower any kind of fleshfulness. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
understand that the Spirit of God is so strong that it'll overtake you once you submit to the will of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it ain't going to be dropped out the sky and today you cleanse and I'm brand spanking new.
Mm-mm. You're
No, you
forever.
have to work at it. You have to
Every till you
continually
leave this
to
earth.
put it into work.
Till you leave this earth, you're gonna have to do the work, and you're gonna have to seek God. When I tell you, when you start getting frustrated or irritable, check your your love language with God. You'll start saying, you know what, I haven't been worshiping, I haven't been reading, I haven't been asking Him for guidance. Now you on your own little wheel,
All
and
right, now
when you get on your
we
wheel,
we winding down.
we wind
4
it
minutes.
down.
4 minutes. They get fresh air on.
That's how they do in the
Up
store.
on.
10 more minutes.
On. Yeah. Every time we go to Bargain, we go there the last few minutes. 10 more minutes.
But I like when they say eight, because then I get to stay a little longer.
Yeah. Because you want to mingle around. She don't want to do
I
nothing
make
but walk
friends.
around.
I'm telling y'all, last week I said make friends. I make friends with people that don't want to be my
But we're gonna try to get this poem in
friend.
before we close out. And I hope I don't go over. Keep the count, baby. I got 3 minutes. The presence of God never has left your side through struggles, through torment, through temptations. God continues to cover and protect your flesh from the enemies of this world. When you feel defeated or torn down, remember what you came from. Remember the struggle. Remember the addiction. Fight through depression. Fight through resentment. Fight through jealousy, envy. Lay hands on yourself,
Mm.
screaming to God, I surrender to your will. Tell suicide to get out of your mind, get out of my spirit. I will fight and shout to live, shout to life,
Mm.
shout for God,
Come on.
shout for love. Surrender my ego, relinquish my flesh,
Come on.
submit the will of God. As the story is told, the plot unfolds. Systematic bacteria injected a plague that paralyzed the body while destroying the mind. Projects are crowded and streets are full, addicted to crack, fueled by poison, ready to steal or kill for the mouth to twitch and the jaws to itch. Teeth chattering while your body aching. Communities dying as poisoned minds become victims of the crimes. Moms
Mm.
and dads struggled to remain strong, but a broken rib can only weaken the man. From hood to hood to corner to corner, smoke dope pills is what you will hear, never understanding and never misunderstood. As the
Mm.
drug trade rolled in, the body counts rolled out. From the White House to foreign lands, the plan was to set into play population control. Let's control the masses while they kill off each other.
Mm. Mm. That was written by my husband,
Yes. The poet.
inspired by Brick City, New Jersey.
Yes. We're gonna wind it down. We're breaking down to the last minutes. So we thank
Thank
y'all.
y'all.
We
If
are
you
so
need us,
appreciative to everybody that chimes in, all the support we've been
all the
getting.
calls,
This is
support.
really starting to take off, and we're so thankful.
Thankful for every person.
God has allowed us to spread love and give our voice that He gives us to speak. We pray for the words to give y'all every week. We pray for the guidance just to help others.
Mm.
So thank y'all, and we'll see y'all next week.
Please.
Bye. Bye bye. Bye. It's kind of hard being a producer and the